that goes in here. And let me just double check, make sure I still got you. Yeah, I've still got you there. The last video I did, I forgot where my camera angles were at. I forgot that when I raise something up, it pulls it out of camera. So you guys most of the time were just watching the table without me working. So I'm trying hard to make sure that I don't do that. So anyway, yeah, so these spacer units are in here to hold that. I've got some lights figured out for in here. Now the nice thing about putting in the ceiling in here is that you can also run wiring for those that want to run electricity in this and lighting and such. This gives you the space to do that. All these panels do. So, and one thing to be, before you put in your ceiling then, if you're gonna light this, paint everything on the inside black. You want everything painted black because that way it'll diffuse the light coming out and make sure you have all your seams filled. Otherwise you get this nice bright camper unit shining all over the place, and you don't want that. So anyway, so yeah, that was the good part. I mean, that was really great. I mean, a lot of work done, a lot accomplished. The bad part was that at the end of things, I went to shut off my camera and realized I didn't have to shut off my camera because I'd forgot to ever turn it on. So all of that work that I thought everybody was watching me do, nobody was seeing anything but me. So I guess that's a little joke on me, but anyway, so yeah, all that work that I went to show you guys exactly how and measured everything out and all this kind of stuff, well, yeah, lost to the ages. So anyway, we have this set up now. We have the, I actually had the glass in the front piece there. That's going to fit in just like this here. Is how that's going to fit. Little tight fit, a little place where it wants to come loose right there. That's going to glue together okay. That's not going to be a problem. And then I'll still have to measure this out because we're going to have to build the bottom part of this thing too. And that's done 2 separate units. Okay, so anyway, we had that. That's going to go in like that. I have from the, let's see, what kit was that? This one. Okay, from the, you probably can't see all this, but let's see, can you see it at all? Okay, the white Freightliner semi-truck, you don't have to really see it that much. Just to let you know what truck that's from. This is the bed from that truck. And I've cut that now to fit up in there. So, and you don't have to get too crazy about that because let's face it, when that goes up in there, you're not going to see anything anyway. So that's not a big deal. These pieces have been cut. This is the paneling. It's been cut to fit into here. The back piece, when the side panels go in, that goes in tight. When the side panels go in, they will have to be a little filing work going on there for the windows to fit in good. So I will, after I get those in, I'll have to file that, and that's why I've not put any chrome trim around these window ledges here because that will get all filed off anyway. So, but as you can see, well, you probably can't see, but there's just a little bit of a lip around that. So anyway, that's what we're going to be starting on today, is getting this prepared for assembly. I really, you know, I guess I gotta apologize for not letting you in on this, but I thought you were in on it. So we will continue from there. So let's start out with, let's get some lights into that upper section there before we lose the. Okay, so anyway, I have some lights here that are going to go in to the top. These are just, like I was mentioning, they are from my parts bin. And if I can get them apart, they fit nice and tight. They got a little hole in the back that helps get that lens out. So anyway, these are going to go in, probably one here and one here. I'm making it look like it's very much incandescent lights because these are set up for the 1960s. I don't want that to leak out, take a chance on that. So I want my tester's glue on this one here. And I'm not going to worry about measuring this out exact, but I'm going to put, actually, let me get started with the lenses first. Let me do those first here. So trying to work on camera for you. These are the buckets that I have for the lenses. Drop those in like that. Hopefully they'll go in. There we go. See, that's why I wanted to do that before, because it gets on here, it's no big deal, that glue. And that's why I'm going to use tester's glue on the other, because I want that to make sure that we don't leak out like that. On that, I did a lot of work on that ceiling, and I don't want to lose that work. Okay, so you can behave yourself yet? There we go. So hopefully I was working on camera there. Let me see where my camera is. Oh yeah, I'm on. So I'm going to be doing that a lot because I've got to make sure that I'm not off camera for this work. It's a lot of work to do for you getting to see me. So now we're going to take the tester's glue and we're going to get that drop off of there. I'm going to take this. It keeps wanting to do that. That's the problem with tester's glue. Okay, so now we just want a very little drop right there. That's all we need. I'm going to take one of these buckets here. All I got to do is be able to get a hold of it. Not the easiest thing in the world to do with my old fingers. And dropping it very carefully into there. So now there's one light. Just a stage and over. There we go. And see what we can do about getting another light on here. Right there should be the second light. Put that back up. I probably won't need it for a while. And put a second light in here. There's our second light in. Okay, so now we got the lights in the ceiling for you. And yeah, a little bit off, not bad. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want that glue to mess up my ceiling. I did put a little bit of a pattern in that ceiling. I just did not want it too awfully perfect. So now what we got to do is before we put in the end here, we got to put in the sides. And those are just going to simply just glue in just like this right here. And I'm going to glue them in a little bit at a time. I'm going to take and I'm going to use the plastic glue. We're going to get the truck out of the way because I want to work right where it's at, because I know that you could see me there. So what we're going to do here first is, now this has got a ribbing on it here. So the glue is not going to touch everywhere. So there's no sense, I'm going to try and get it just right on that ribbing. And that's going to be my beginning place on it. And notice I've not put in the windows yet because the windows are going from this side here. Okay, we're going to get that set in about where I want it. We're going to check it outside. Oh, that's looking good. That's tight. That's nice. That's nice. I can live with that. Now, with my finger down here, I'm going to lift this up here, making sure I don't get into those lights. That would be a bad thing. Now we're going to not worry so much about where the ribbing is at. We're just going to go ahead and get this placed into here. Don't worry about if I get a little on the table. Glue on the table is not going to hurt anything. These pads are replaceable. I'm not too worried about them. Okay, now see how that's not sticking there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put some glue down in, quite a bit of it, because I want it to drip down. And let it just go down in. Now don't worry if it gets on this part here, that's no big deal. We're going to hold that and we're going to hold that. That's where we got glue at. We're going to hold it right there for a minute or two. And we're going to do that the rest of the way around here, and then I'll show you how we're going to do the back. So in lieu of you having to sit here and just watch me sitting here holding this thing while everything dries, we're going to do a little movie magic here, and we're going to have all of this just suddenly appear on here in a minute for you. All right, through the magic of the camera, we are back, and I now have the paneling put in on the sides and the lights in, and we're getting ready. We're going to put a piece of paneling on that, but we're going to start out with the back though. Now remember, I've got all these spacers in here, and we're going to put this in, and this is going to fit tight. That's supposed to fit tight, almost like a snap fit. But what we've got to do there first is we've got to get that so that it's going to stay, and I want to use a little bit slower drying and also a weld glue on that. So we're going to use Plastrix plastic weld, and we're going to come just on the tops of these things. Now notice how that doesn't dry as fast. It gives me a little bit more working time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of spread that out through there and give as much surface coverage as I can. Hopefully I'm on camera to you guys. It's hard for me to tell sometimes. Okay, that's going to be enough there to cover that. And then we can drop that down into there, like that. And we're going to hold that for a second. Making sure, let's get as many fingers in there as I can to get that all down. Now we're going to go back to our other glue and come around the edges of a little bit here. Make sure that we're down good there. How many times am I going to say there? I have a bad habit of that. So I'll drop some more glue in on these areas. I'm trying to get this right around the edges of this glue. Now then, going back in underneath of here, where I had that glue before, we're going to, if I can get that to go underneath it there, and go like that, and we're going to push that down, that, and try and hold that while trying to bring some more glue in here if I can. Okay, holding that tight. And then while I'm holding that tight, let's actually hold it down like this here. What fingers can I get into there? Got all five, there we go. Well, 4 fingers and a thumb. So now this, I've cut paneling to go onto this area on here. That's going to go like that, and you'll notice it kind of over, well, you can't notice because I don't have it there yet. And we're trying to do this one-handed and kind of backwards. Okay, so if you notice there's a little bit of an overhang on this side over here, and we will cut that to fit. And then I want that to come up just a little bit over the bed, which is going to help to hold the bed on in real life. Hopefully anyway. Alright, so now that should have that down good. That should have that down. That's not looking too awful bad so far. Not looking too awful bad at all. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to double check that. Make sure everybody's still hooked down. They seem to be good. So now let's set that way back over so I don't get that in the way of what I'm trying to work. And we're going to get this glued on, and I'm going to use gravity to double check. Yeah, okay. So once again, we're going back to the weld because we've got a large area that I want to keep wet for a little bit here. Especially down the middle to the edges, I can come back and fix those a little bit. So, okay, that should, a little bit more on that side, right there. Okay, so now, once again, taking this, dropping it down for gravity, and, oh, we gotta come over this way here on it, don't we? Okay, here we go. And here we go, or there we go, I don't know. Over here's or there's at this point. And I'm babbling. Okay, that's on to some degree. Now we're going to get back to our other glue to bring that in and hold that down. And I'm kind of letting a lot of glue go into there because it's got all these holes. Remember, this is kind of corrugated like, and it's got to have a way to seep down into there and attach itself. So we're just trying to get what we can to work for us. Coming back onto the side that we're going to cut, we've got to make sure we have plenty of support for that because that's actually, if you notice, it's got a little lip right there, which is going to be a little problem. Okay, there we go, we're on. We are on. Let's see if we can cut that straight. Cutting it straight as I possibly can anyway. There you go. There it is. That's on. Now I did cut a piece to go up into here behind the bed, but I kind of actually like having this open in here in a way. And I've got these little, they're mold release places here. But just the shape of those is just intriguing me. So you know what, well, we got that bed there. Let's just go ahead and drop that thing in. Let's drop that bed in. Yeah, if I couldn't knock the side of the bottom, there we go. That got knocked decent good. There we go. Now, dropping the bed in there. Perfect. The other glue. Let's see how that comes right up alongside of that bed then. So that I can actually use the side of the bed to glue against. Now I'm going to go back. Now this is where we've got to be careful because it's got a window there. We can go like this here and like that. One more time on each one of those. I want that to kind of seep down into there. Now before we go on, let's see what we've got for lights. Do we have any cool lights up there for that? I don't have much in lights right now because I'm getting restarted on my collection. Ooh, there we go. There we go. There it is. There's one. Where do you have a mate? Do you have a mate? Usually where there's one light, there's two. That's kind of a cool light too. Okay. And I'm not worried. I'm not going to worry about putting glass in them or anything like that. Just that's another cool one. That's another cool one. Yeah. But let's see if I still try. There we go. That's the first one I was after. Let me try that other one. Almost hate using something that cool because it's not going to be seen. All right, let's go with those guys right there. Putting that back in correct over there. And see if I cut my finger off here. I don't know if I got you on camera or not. Hopefully I do. Now what's that do? Oh my gosh, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Okay, there we go. Am I good or am I good? I'm good. Well, not very good at holding things anyway, though. All right. That gives me a little something blue. So I'm going to actually use the tester's glue up here. Like I mentioned, there's just almost like these things are made for this. There we go. Loving it. I am loving it. That goes down. These would be just like, oh, little, I don't know, reading lights, I guess you call them here. A couple little, almost sconce-like things. Just sit there to read by. Oh no, that's tight. That's tight, guys. That is tight. I like that. I do like that. This one has to come up just as, oh, stitch in there. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see, now when I'm ready, that will all just simply come up into there and go in like that, somewhat. Now, if this doesn't glue tight for me, which I think it will, then I can always add a little, whoa, what are you? Oh, I forgot that I had put that in. Okay, yes, okay, so now here's something to think about. When you put in little things like this, you have to adjust for little things like that. So I've got to cut a little off of this corner. Because that comes up into the paneling on the side. I hate this X-Acto knives that only had the one thing to them. They don't tighten up very tight. Keep them loose at the worst possible time, usually. Okay, let's see what this does. Let's see if that does any better. I may have to cut some of that bed even. Okay, so sorry about that, I was off camera again. Let's get back on camera. I think, I did believe we just about got, we got a little bit on this side here, but I got that. There it is. That's how that's going to go in. You can see now where the lights are at. I should have probably put that one down just a little bit farther, shouldn't I? So, okay, so we've got all that set up to go. Got the window in there. Now we got to get the windows in the side here. But remember I said we had to glue these sides in before we could do that, because the windows at this point will fit the outside piece okay, coming back from the inside naturally, and once we can find it again. But what they don't do is they don't fit in the paneling where I've got it cut, because I didn't cut it to fit this yet. So now we got to cut this paneling and cutting it to fit. So, and let's get some things out of the way. So I'm working on camera again. Working on camera. I have to keep saying that, keep reminding myself, because I am bad about getting off camera. And this is kind of, if anybody's following along and wants to do this, kind of a little bit on the important side. Okay, so that's got that one. Let's go down here, keeping finger out of the way. Don't cut off the ends of the fingers, makes a mess. Okay, now I just had a little window here a minute ago. Oh, window, wherefore art thou? There's a big window. And there's a little window. Which am I'm working on this one? Okay. Let's see if that'll fit into there yet. Not, oh yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. It's in. It's in. Perfect. It is in, and it is in there perfect. Okay, and I like that, and I didn't do any damage, so I can just, let's just go ahead and glue that while I've got it here. On second thought, no, because I'm going to be messing around with this other one. I don't want to do that yet. Okay, so now is this the next one? No, that's the door to that. That's to the door, rather. Okay, so this, I've already got these chromed, by the way. I use my Molotow liquid pen, the thin line. I think this is 1 millimeter. Mirror Perfect. Molotow 1 millimeter. Yeah. Okay, so now let's cut one of these things here so we have something to go by. Getting our file from, file, wherefore art thou? I just said right there in plain sight, geez. So I don't raise rattlesnakes. Right. So see, this one is designed to go into here, but there's no way it's going to fit yet because we've got to trim this window here, and that has to be done after the paneling went in because we needed to know where the paneling actually came to. Come back onto this side here. Okay, how far are we from that one? How far are we from it? Okay, we are. Good grief, am I that good? Huh. Lucky there. I do want to come up just a stitching. Oh man, just that little corner right there. Little bitty corner right there. There it is. That's how close I was on that one. And there it is. There it is, guys. That's beautiful. Okay, so now let's get this other one on the other side. That's the same window on the other side now. Okay, I'm going to hold that right there. I just want to make sure that I'm still, yeah. Sorry about that, people, but I want to make sure where I'm at. I can assume, like I did the other day, that everybody's with me and have nobody with me. Or I can keep checking, kind of being a bother. But, okay, I think I'm a little bit too deep on that in there, but that won't hurt anything from the back. Tightening up my X-Acto knife again. X-Acto, don't make any more like this. Right, now let's do, I need to come down that way there on that one. Beautiful. Now, are we as beautiful as we look, though? And nice tight fit. There we go. So that's got those done. Now then we got to cut out this other one because we've got a different size window on it. Might as well cut them both out because we're going to use them. And there's that small window for that other one. All right. So now let's get this last window cut. Let's actually drop this guy in. How far off are we? Okay. A little bit right here. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. Okay. Let's try that. I think we've got a little bit more trimming to do, but let's try it anyway. Just see. There we go. No, dropped right in. Okay, so that should have our windows ready to just drop in then. And let's just do that. Let us just do that. We're going to use just some centrifugal force to just, whatever they call that anyway. I think that's what they call it. Can't even get in my own, can't even see what I'm doing, let alone you guys to see what I'm doing. Come on, baby, you can do this. There it is, perfect. Just put this along the edges, and it just wicks it right on in there. One more time right there. Okay, little guy. Little guy for up here. Did I cut both of these to fit the little guys? I'm not sure I did. I'm not sure that I did get that one cut. No, I didn't. I thought he wasn't fitting right. Well, let's do this here first then. Okay, guys, see? You gotta double check your work. You gotta double check your work or you end up like me. And just about the time you think you're one place, you find out you're someplace else. Yeah, camoose. Yeah, how's that? A little bit more at the back. These windows are really small to try and work with. Okay. Now, what's that deal? Now, does that let that come into there? Should got it right here. It says it's got one little spot that I think I can push it in and get it. There, I got it. Okay, we're good. We're good. It doesn't take much on these guys. All right, now we got to hold that, turn that over, hopefully without anybody falling out. Oh, whoops, trying to get back off camera again, aren't I? It's funny, I watch my videos and about the only thing that I keep saying over and over again is, get back on camera, dum-dum. Get the dum-dum back on camera. Because the dum-dum is not on the camera. All this expensive lighting and cameras and everything else, and I sit there and still can't get on it. Okay, there we go. There we go. And there, that's got that. Okay, now, I could actually call that part of that completed, but we got to do the back window here. Now on this and here, I'm not going in from the back here. I'm actually going in from where it's supposed to go into here. And I've got that already chrome trimmed for you. Just take this and go like this here, and like that there, and we're good to go. Ah, missed. There we go. I'm going to hold that for a minute before I put it on. So, we are in good shape right now. Everything's looking good. I can't see anything that I really want to do at this point. With all the stuff that I've got. That's ready, except for one thing we do really need an inside frame on that door of some sort here. Okay, so what I had to do when I had to run off from me there for a little bit, so I had to find some things to make a door with. And I found, just dug through my scrap plastic, and I found this, I don't know, board and batten thing, it looks like here. Plain on one side, looks like board and batten siding, I'm not sure. I found that, and then I found some, I don't know, what is that, like about 60 by 125? Not 188. Yeah, it looks like about 60 by 125 strip styrene. And I used that to just make a crude door. I don't need to be a lot. See here, that's just going to sit in there just like that. Matter of fact, I think I'll just go ahead and glue that in now. Let me get this glue here to start with. I'm not worried about it being really pretty on the back. Just okay, so this stuff here will stick a little bit longer, or stay loose a little bit longer for me. Get that out like that, and then we're going to carefully put that on the door right there. Checking to see how it is on the outside. I've got some leeway on that actually because the window here is smaller than that window there. But this window will never really show that much. Okay, so how's that look? A little bit up. There we go. Now let's get the other glue over here, and we will drop it into the back and press that down. Pressing it down to hold that. And this one going here too. And I missed where I was aiming at. There we go. Ah, perfect. Perfect. Pushing that down. Pushing that down. Now let's get this metal section here glued to some degree. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's tight. That's tight. That's a door. That's all there is to making a door. Now, if I was doing the outside door, naturally I'd have to take a lot more precautions with it, but this does good enough for what I need it to do. So that's got that going there good. And I think, are we ready for this to go in? Have I got this that far done? I do believe we're ready for this to, okay, anything else before I start it? Always double check, see if there's anything else. So that's looking good. That's looking good there. Okay, all this. All right, so let's see what happens here. We got the bed in, we got the lights in, we left those for decorations there. You know what, just for the fun of it, I've got a couple of things that I probably should have sanded out. And if I should have sanded them out, they're going to look funny. So I think that what I'm going to do instead here is, okay, so my wife did a thing years ago, rest her soul. We had a house that had an addition built onto it, and it had a great big old beam going across the center of the living room here. And I mean, you couldn't miss that beam. So she decided that if you gotta have to live with it, you're gonna flaunt it. And she painted that thing a big maroon. So you couldn't miss that beam. It was painted maroon. So we're gonna do the same thing here. These things here that I should have sanded out, we're gonna actually chrome those things just like that. And you're not probably gonna be able to see them anyway, but we're going to chrome those things. Why are we going to chrome them? Because we're going to flaunt them. I think my pen is dying off on me a little bit there, but I'm getting a little chrome out of it. Okay. Let me see if I can get this started someplace here. Pen is dying. I'm going to have to get a new pen out. I've only got about a dozen of them sitting around here. And instead of going and getting one, I'm sitting here fighting with this one. There we go. Now I got paint coming out. Okay, so there's the thing. Is if you got something that you were supposed to get rid of, let it be known that you didn't get rid of it, I guess. So we chromed that sucker, just like the little light there next to it. So, okay. If I'm going to screw up, let's make it look good. Make it look like I didn't. Well, that's basically it. Okay, so now this one here is going to give me some static, I'm pretty sure. Let's get that out of the way so that you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so that's got to go back, oh, just a stitch in there, doesn't it? Just a stitch. And what's holding us up is I've got a little piece of paneling right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to mark that. I'm going to mark that, and I'm going to cut it. So we're going to just cut that piece of paneling that's giving me static. We're just about the width of paneling thick and being able to put this thing together. We'll come back up into here. Now, are you ready to come out of there? Somewhat. Do you come all the way? No, you don't. You're going to make me work for you, aren't you? You're going to make me work for you. And let's see if we can get it out of there yet. There, perfect. All right, now let's see what happens here. Now let's see if we can get it any better than it was. Oh, that's tight. That's tight right there. That's looking good. That is looking good. There we go. Okay, now for some reason, I've got a little discrepancy down here. Why do I have that? Nothing I can't sand out. And I'd just like to know why it's there to start with, because of, because the bed right there. See how I've got this notched right here? I've got the bed there. Now I can cut the bed, or I can, let's see, which side is that on? That's on that side. I can just simply come in here and let's just notch this. It's a lot easier to notch this. Can you see where I'm working? Oh yeah, good. Okay. A lot easier for you to see where I'm working if I put it where you can see it. There it is. And you come off. So I've got that just about the thickness of the bed. So this isn't straightforward of just the outside. You got to work on the inside. I mean, I could have skipped that bed and stuff, you know, but hey, if I'm going to go to all this work, I'm going to make it good. As good as I can, anyway. Okay, now see, that brought me up in there a lot better then. Come just a stitching forward with it, right? Okay. So we got that in, but we still got one little bit. Let me see if I can figure it out from, draw me a line. Oh, is that it? That's what's holding me up? Is that what is holding me up? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Okay, there's got to be something else in there besides that. It had to be more than just that. But it wasn't. That was it. Okay, so there we are. That's ready to go in. See, now you can't even see that bed or anything, but I know it's there. And I mean, you can look through. Yeah, if you shine a light through, you probably could see them, but yeah. Looking through the back, you can see the little sconces that I put in and the little chrome trim. Okay, so now, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to glue this from the front, aren't you? Oh, rats. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, I don't like putting glue on the front of things. I don't like putting glue on the front of things. But I don't have a lot of choice no matter. Why are you not coming in? Good on the side there. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, now before I do that, one last double check. All my windows are sticking in there good. Right? You're in good, you're in good. I've got my lights in, the door's on. Everything is on. I know this is kind of boring to you, but that's something to make sure that you're doing, that you got everything set before you start doing. Now, one more time. That's all looking good there. That's beautiful there. Don't worry about little gaps and things because we're going to be taking care of that as we go along here. So, okay, well, glue on the outside. Glue on the outside. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So, okay. I'm going to try to get that down in there a little bit better. So that's why I didn't want to put glue on the outside, because it gets all in the paint itself. Okay, so now we're going to hold that tight there for just a few seconds. It won't take too long. Don't worry if it's not completely lined up straight there. You're going to have some, there's going to be some discrepancies when you're doing a kit bash like this with this much involved in it. And most of this really won't be able to be seen anyhow. Okay, I'm gonna put some more glue coming onto there. I will have to brush paint this or do something. I'm gonna try and as little damage as I possibly can on this outside. But there are gonna be some things. When I get down underneath here, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But okay. So holding that tight for a few seconds, we got to do that before we can go on to the rest of it. Got to make sure this is tight first. Got to work a little bit. See, that wants to come loose there. That wants to come loose there. Let's actually, we've got that. We've got that hooked up into there. Let's do these guys here. All right, just go right down and through there. Okay, holding that tight still. Now if I hold it tight from here, I could probably also do this side over here then, see? And yeah, I see we're getting paint on, glue on that paint, but I'm not too worried about that at this point. It's something that I can touch up and do some kind of funky things with if I need to. All right, and this is, I'm actually doing this to look like it's about 10 years old. So I don't want, you know, a piece of junk, but it can have some weathering to it anyways. And that glue is not going to be that big of a deal for the weathering. Well, you just don't want to seal up tight, do you? But I want you to. Let's get you from this side, maybe get a little bit of a lip there. So, okay, so once again, I'm holding things together, and we've got ourselves to a really good point on this. And what am I going to, well, actually, we still got to put this piece on, and then we've got a trim piece that goes across here on the back. We've got to do that yet. And that's, the structurally will be done with this thing. The thing is afterwards, let me bring the truck down here a minute while I'm waiting for things to dry and boring, you know. So the truck's going to come down, and this is going to actually sit on the truck. But inside the truck, I'm going to build a lower section here because these things would have a piece coming across here and would actually kind of be about like that there, and then a piece that would come up like that. It would look like that on the inside. And what that does is goes into here. And I'm going to build that section in there. And we're going to put some cupboards and such like that in, but it's going to be designed so this just fits over it. And there'll be a little plate that goes like this, well, about like that, in there. And on either side. And that's where the cupboards and the little refrigerator and all that. I'm going to go ahead and build that stuff in here on this one. I figure I've got it this far. Anyway, let's just go ahead and let's have some fun with it. You go that way. You go that way. So that's what's going to be happening in the next segment of our video. Did you stay? Pretty much, didn't you? There you go. All right, so a little super glue never hurt anybody, did it? So not just one minuscule drop. So that's what we got there. We're going to turn this around. We're going to make sure that's staying. It stayed. Okay, so stayed is a weird word. We're going to get ready to drop that onto the back. Okay, let's, oh, you know what I actually want on there because I don't know where it's actually going to glue to. Okay, we're going to actually use this. Well, let's decide how much it's going to put up. Let me set that there a minute. Okay, so I've got that piece there, up in there, and down the bottom. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to come in on this piece here. It's all wrinkled anyway. And then we're going to come across the top here and on the underside of the ledge. There. Okay, that should be enough. Let's go ahead and catch this a little bit down in here. Okay. This is what I like to use the Testors glue. It's because it's thick and I can use it to cover large areas that would otherwise give me trouble. See there? That just glues right into there. There, and that, I could call that done. But I've got this piece up here at the top that looks funky to me. So I'm going to actually put in a little, just a trim piece across there. Again, I'm going to use the glue the Elmer's glue. Elmer's, boy, I've got everything but Testors on my brain, don't I? So that's going to come across like that. And we come on like this. Okay. I am liking that. A little stitching over there yet. And there we go. Okay. So that pretty well took care of most of the gaps. There's a little gap there, but I'm not going to worry that much about that. Now, what we have to do yet is I've got to paint this trim that I put on here. That's got to be painted. I've got to put lights on there and on the sides. All the lights have to be painted up. And a little bit of I'll work on some of these others off camera. I'll stick them a little bit more super glue on that and hold that down. I'll probably come in and do the same thing back in here someplace too, just to give it some reinforcement. Now that I'm going to be building cupboards in here, I'm going to be building a television set that goes in someplace. I'll set that there for now. The TV I want I haven't found. And like this will sit on here, but the cupboards will come up inside of it there. So there'll be some cupboards coming up into this section here, and they'll be built on this. They won't be built on this, they'll be built on this coming up. Then this will just drop over it. So watch for the future episodes of this. We're going to be showing you how we're going to accessorize the inside of the pickup camper. And this is what it looks like so far. I don't know if I can set that on something to kind of, let me set that over here. You're over here, so let me set that there. Oh, this is going to be a challenge. Are you going to stay? probably long enough for you to see, at least see what it looks like. So, okay, can you see what it looks like? You can't from there. Let me raise it up a little bit. Raise it up a little bit. So that's what your camper looks like, guys. And like I said, next time we're going to be going inside of it, and we are going to be building cupboards, a television, a stove, a sink. All that stuff's going to be going inside now. So keep watching, and until the next time, this is the Modeling Hermit, and I am off the air and gone.